So, many people constantly ask me, how can I begin a journey towards spirituality in the proper way? What are the key elements to consider? What are the challenges and the benefits of this pathway? In this video, I will answer these questions and more about spirituality and faith. Keep watching to learn everything you need to know. Hey there, wonderful people. I hope you are all having a fantastic day. My name is Luke, and I'd like to warmly welcome each and every one of you, wonderful souls, to my new video. In my long journey towards spirituality as a Christian, and mostly as a friar, I have often been asked by those starting their own discernments, how did I start my journey? What did I do to make it possible and to reach the point where I am now? Well, in this video I will tell you all about my experience. And let's start with defining this. Christian spirituality is a journey of discovering the depth of faith and relationship with God. Sometimes we can get lost during these moments of our lives, but that is completely normal. If you don't get lost, you won't learn as much. It's when you experience the grace of God, or better yet, the grace of life, that you can actually understand things you couldn't otherwise. Sometimes I hear people that say that they have suffered for the things that they had received. But I believe that this is an heritage that comes from paganism, where everything related to life had a price and that had to be paid in the worst way possible. If you want to repay something you receive with love, you can choose to do so instead of suffering, as Christ already suffered for us. Of course, this doesn't mean that we are completely relieved from suffering, but we don't need to overdo it. The more we convince ourselves that we have to suffer to obtain things, the more we will suffer, because God respects our choices even when it comes to these little things, or big. Coming to the topic of this video, by the way, how can you start your journey towards the spiritual side of life? What worked for me in the very beginning was to figure out what was my relationship and where was with God. I paused my life for a little while and started to think about what God meant to me, what kind of attitude and impact He had on my life. And from there I started to talk to Him like a person, like a father or a mother if you want. That was my first surprising encounter with God. Growing up, I was taught to fear and distance myself from God instead, especially within the Catholic Church. But that approach never resonated with me. I needed a God who understood my mistake and that was there to help me, even if I made them countless times in terms of mistakes. The concept of God that I had was unique, but quite similar to the ones in the old Greece that was portrayed by Homer in the Odyssey or in the Iliad, that narrates the story of gods and humans, and even Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides often dealt with religion, matter, and mythological dams, or even Plato and Aristotle, who discussed Greek religion and philosophy, faith, and spirituality represented a fundamental part of that Greek life. But it should be noted that Greek religion was polytheistic first of all, and meaning that it believed in many anthropomorphic gods and goddesses with human-like appearance and behavior. However, ultimately, divinity was actually superhuman, subject to temperament, mood, and feelings. And despite having been taught this concept of God by my family, friends, and church, I never questioned it. I believed it was the true representation of God, and as a result, I wasn't interested in exploring other perspectives. Because of that, it took me a long time to break free from the strict Catholic education that had been forced upon me. But once I did, I experienced newfound freedom and a deeper, more genuine faith. I finally felt like I could talk to God and live a better life. As a second step towards spiritual fulfillment, I want to discuss with you, in fact, the important point that was crucial for me, my relationship with myself. In the past, I had a completely wrong concept of who I was and what I wanted. I used to believe that everything was already planned for me and that I was just a passenger or a mere host of my life. Needless to say, this misconception led to depression, sadness, anger, frustration, and hate, all of which were very valid feelings at the time. It took me a long time to schedule a session with a specialist psychologist because in my generation, seeing a therapist was considered taboo. I believe that only people with serious problems went to psychologists. And however, I couldn't have been more wrong, of course. If you find yourself in a similar situation, I beg you, and I recommend you, very highly recommend you, to taking a leap of faith and giving a try. Doing so prevents you from experiencing many difficulties in your life you can't even imagine, trust me. Sometimes just a few sessions can entirely change your vision of yourself and the world. Once I began sorting out these two aspects of my faith and life, everything started to make sense and have a different flavor. Living was no longer a painful process of merely staying alive, but became an opportunity that I could seize with both hands, and finally attain something more, something beautiful. So, what are the outcomes of all these challenges and changings? The God I believe in now is much more than just a few words in a book. He is more than just someone watching me from above and judging me for what I do or I don't do. He is actually someone who does daily, routine things with me, who stays with me all the time, and who is there when I want to talk with him. In any difficulty or happiness moment, he is there with me, crying with me or laughing with me. And that is the game changer. That is what really opened my heart to myself, to him, to the world, and to the infinite hope. I am planning to make more videos about this aspect because there are so many beautiful things you can experience and you need to be acknowledged. So please stay tuned. Even my inner self has improved, by the way, since I started paving my own path towards deeper spirituality, making decisions firstly for my own well-being without worrying about other opinions. I am free to be myself despite my surroundings, and most importantly, I can now discern what truly nourishes my soul and mind, as well as what is toxic and harmful to me. I've come to realize that my only true guide is myself and him. It may sound like a given, but I've seen so many people trying to fill the gaps in their life with words and desires without even taking real action or experiencing life to the fullest. It's really easy to fall into the trap of being told what to do, whether it's through ads, games, or social media. I've seen so many people get frustrated because they see others being happy and fulfilled on a screen, but they don't know how to get there themselves. But don't worry, I'm here for you. I want you to be happy, successful, and most importantly, to be proud of who you are. So let's work together to find your own path towards a fulfilling life. So now, as a conclusion, it's time for me to say goodbye, but before I do, I'd like to ask you to leave a comment below. It's only take a few minutes to write a question or ask to talk about a specific thing you need help with. So remember, I am here for you. Lastly, please press the like button so that YouTube knows that my videos are helping someone and can promote them. If you'd like to follow me on this channel, please press the subscribe button and the bell too. This will help me keep going and go ahead with much more energy and motivation. For now, I thank you a lot for making it so far, and don't forget to look beyond your life. You'll discover an entirely new and wonderful world, and I wish you all the best for today and the future. See you next time if you'd like, and it's goodbye from me, Luke. Bye-bye.